Collaboration is a really unique element of what the Trust stands for. So it's about the sharing of best practice, the sharing of really good resources, and making sure that we're not reinventing the wheel. This year we focused on safeguarding. It's the most important element of what we do, making sure that both our students and our staff feel safe and secure in their environment.
So really excitingly, we work collaboratively with all the primary schools and the secondary schools across the Trust to discuss common trends in safeguarding, the sort of problems that our students and families are having, and then our solutions.
Across the Trust we have DSLs and DSOs, that's a designated safeguarding lead, and a DSO, a designated safeguarding officer. Each team meet together on a termly basis to talk through issues arising, safeguarding concerns that are coming up across the Trust, be it primary or secondary.
We work on two levels, so we have the staff collaborative level and the pupil collaborative level. The pupils are involved in a working group. All of the primaries meet termly and they have discussed what is of a concern to them, because as teachers and adults in school, we can think what they're worried about, but they've been able to share what they're actually worried about.
So the students have had a huge impact in being able to go into assemblies, talk to their year groups, explain what safeguarding is, and that of course in turn helps when it comes to them possibly having to let us know something about a child that is unsafe.
So the safeguarding student programme, we have different students in the other schools, so like Invicta, Valley and the Lenham School, and we're all working together to build resources so that the students know what safeguarding is, who they can go to if they've got any concerns, and it's all just about making sure that everybody is safe.
So we have these termly meetings every other term with the whole VIAT up at the SST school, and I've been involved with them for quite a while, and it's good to hear everyone's thoughts and discussions on it, because we've seen the schools all be proactive about it, and we get partnerships like peer mentoring or more awareness of teacher safeguardings.
We've done lots of Zoom calls with all of the other primary schools. We've made some posters of all the safeguarding people on the team in our school.
For staff, it's about knowing that they're making the right choices on a local level, that when a disclosure is made to them, they're handling it in a way in which is consistent across different schools. And I think the more schools that can discuss these things and discuss the way in which they've approached a certain disclosure or a certain incident that they've handled, I think reassures each school, because it's this united responsibility of safeguarding that then links to this united outcome that we have of keeping our children safe.
We've also worked on science and horticulture, which is a really exciting element, and I think it's quite unique to our Trust.
So in science, we want a sense of community, and we also want to support each other effectively. We do lots of work with, particularly with the primaries in terms of workshops, so we might host workshops at the different secondary schools, and then we take students out, or as teachers we go out to support them. So heart dissection is very popular.
Last year we worked really closely with our colleagues at Invicta, which enabled us to roll out the science fair with our Year 8 students here at SST. Due to its success, our colleagues at Invicta have been able to roll that out to the primaries in the Trust as well. So we've had our primaries take part in their own science fair, and this term we'll be holding again another VIAT head-to-head with all of the primaries, Invicta students and SST students as well.
So today we are doing the head-to-head round for the science fair. We're going against Invicta and a primary school. It's good to have the other schools here because you get to just basically have a chat and get to know each other.
We could meet other people and just get to know more about the science world, really.
And we get to see what other schools have been doing, not just our own.
It's very important because it brings lots of people together who otherwise wouldn't meet, and it could start friendships and good relationships. Also, it's always good to have any science initiatives because it's a very hard subject, to be honest, and for some people it's very even more hard to learn in an isolated classroom environment.
We as a Trust decided that outdoor learning post-COVID was very, very important, and as a result of that we've devised the whole concept of outdoor learning to include PE, sports, but very importantly the link of horticulture with science.
So there's been a huge drive towards outside learning in the past couple of years. We've got the Forest School, which you can see behind me, so that's now for kids to go and get out of the classroom and maybe more interactive with the environment around them. We've also got the horticulture there, which is recently built this year.
Last couple of weeks we've been planting carrots, onions, garlics, and the next couple of weeks we're going to start planting potatoes, ready for harvesting in the autumn.
I think it's important for the schools to get involved in the outside learning to help build our community with the gardening centre.
What we want to achieve here is an outside learning environment, a classroom, a lab if you like. With religious studies, for example, we're talking about stewardship, that links with geography, for example, when it talks about habitation and climate change and the rise in sea levels. So we're just trying to bring back, physically, how can we actually help bring back our habitation? If we can actually foster that in our students here, then they're going to take that home. They're going to have these conversations, meaningful conversations with their friends and family over the dinner table.
Outside learning is important because it gives children an opportunity who don't necessarily thrive in the normal classroom setting to get outside and be more hands-on and physical and learn in a different way.
In the secondary sector, we have real expertise in MFL, and what is lovely now is that we're able to share that and integrate that into the primary curriculum.
A couple of years ago we decided to invest heavily in Spanish across all the primary schools, and we just understood and recognised the enormous value of learning a language in a primary school, and then the ability to then explore the cultures that are associated with those languages.
I regularly meet with some of the lead language teachers, and in those meetings we share resources, new resources we've found, different ideas, and that obviously really helps with planning for the lessons. Also, it's really useful to have the secondary school students that speak Spanish modelling work for the younger students at the primary schools. There's a lot of the language assistants actually come from Spanish-speaking countries. For example, there's a language assistant at Invicta from Peru, and we have a real good insight into the culture there, and they can share their different stories and experiences with our children as well.
In my opinion, I really like learning new languages because it's something different that not many people get to do. Communication is very important, and learning a new language could be really helpful in the future.
We also have a very exciting competition here in Year 7 called VIAT, which is based on our version of Eurovision, and the Year 7 students absolutely love it, and we want the primary school students to get involved in that. This helps a lot because then they know what to expect when they come to secondary school. We also have an exciting partnership with a Spanish school in Jerez, and we really want the primary schools to become involved in that, whether that's with a visit or via link up online.
So the vision for MFL across the primaries, we really want the students to gain a real love for learning languages. We want them to develop their understanding of how different languages work. We want them to build them with confidence when they're learning new things as well. And especially this year, we're really focused on sort of cultural awareness as well, just to sort of foster their curiosity of things happening around the world as well.
It's really important to introduce modern foreign language to primary pupils. We feel that it's actually a helpful thing for them to compare learning a language, getting the grammar, the understanding and the pronunciation at this stage. We also want to really interest them in the learning of foreign languages as they move to secondary.
These areas of work make such a difference because we can all work towards the same goal. We're not reinventing the wheel, and we are able to use the resources in a way that's effective and controlled. So we're delivering at the highest level. It is that sharing of best practice, but supporting the learning of a new teacher, for example, with the experience of a much more secure teacher with that subject knowledge. And that works particularly in the transference of primary to secondary knowledge.